What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, excuse me. First, I want to say shout out to whoever it was in the comments that made the joke about it's like, this dude's gray hair. He should talk about plastic boxes. He should be worried about his meds or something like that. I put some laughing emojis. That was pretty funny. Know what I like about certain like Xbox communities, like especially Dirt and Sean's community, WBG and TTS. They are in the chat steadily cracking on Brother Dirt. You know, call him South of Dirt, and just it's hilarious. That is probably the funniest show that is not funny because of the actual, I mean, he's in on the joke, so, you know, it makes it all good. He doesn't get upset about it, but it's real. So chat be coming up with some funny jokes. And I appreciate y'all doing it too. Doing it to me. Putting me through the ringer. It's all good. It's nothing better than a nice little laughing giggles. Anyway, I've been hearing a lot about this Prince of Persia game. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. I don't remember what the damn title's called. But that game is an example of why Sony's plan, their idea, their strategy, what they think they need to do is flawed. This game is going to be like a 10 out of 10 type of game. It's going to be highly acclaimed. The fact that it's coming out so early may mess it up a little bit as far as recency bias and stuff. But I was in the Bombcast, and they were literally, it had to be over like 40 minutes talking about this game, and I'm like, this is just a Prince of Persia game. Like, really? Is that good? It's like, man, it's the best Metroidvania game I ever played. 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. I'm like, man. And then I thought to myself, Sony is capable of making a game like that. Why doesn't Sony make a game like that? They could probably make a game better than that, because I heard based on what they were saying, that the actual story and narrative and story elements were the weakest part of that game, but everything else was like, mwah. So I'm like, why don't you do that, you know? Why don't you make smaller games that are highly acclaimed? If you do that over and over again, then you'll start to have a new following, a new niche, Sony makes them small, makes them big, they all good. But no, they're stuck on this. We have to make AAA. We have to spend $500 million on games, 4 and 3 is 15. I'm like, why? Why do they all have to look the same? Why do they all have to be cinematic? You know, this game isn't that. It's a side scroller. It's 3D. Technically, it's 3D, art and models, but the camera is 2.5, whatever it is. It's 2D. And so, they do all, I'm telling you, this could have been Uncharted, The Lost Idol, or I don't know, whatever they call it. They already have Lost Legacy, but they could have made a side-scrolling Uncharted game. The Xbox fanboys would have made fun of them, but if it's a good game, it's a good game. Or maybe they do a new IP or something. I mean, look, Sony's big enough to do something, and they refuse to do it because they're scared. They're risk averse. They don't want to take a risk. And technically, this is not a risk for Ubisoft, because it's their property, it's their IP. It's a cheaper game. They just threw all their manpower or whatever. They threw all the good colorers with crayons on that game, and now everybody's loving it. All the previews was like, I love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm like, that's crazy. So why is Sony not doing that? And that if you have to, like, pay attention, because the longer that Sony refuses to diversify their portfolio, as we will say, the longer they're going to be in trouble. I mean, I know they tried to do it with games of service, but they went like, how are you going to make 12 games of service? How? That's like saying, Microsoft, we're going to make 12 first-person shooters. I'm like, that's a little unnecessary. You don't need 12 of any type of game, right? I mean, if you want to split it up, like, okay, 2 are sports games, 1 is a racing game, if you split it up like that, then I can be like, okay, I understand. But they didn't say it like that, And that's probably, honestly, that's probably how it was shaken out. But at the same time, they don't really have the experience to do it right. So, that was kind of a lost cause for them. Anyway, sorry for the rambles. But, and now I'm like, okay, this Prince of Persia game is hot. People gonna love it. People gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. And then I'm looking at like other games, and it's like Power World, right? That's coming out on the 19th, the day after the direct, the publisher, the developer direct, the Xbox joint, right? So it's coming out the day after on Game Pass. I'm playing it. And it's, the Pokemon with Guns game. And I'm like, it looks really good. Like, just from the trailers, I'm like looking at the art assets. I'm like, I like where the camera's at. I like the animations. I like the colors. I like the world. It looks good. I'm not into Pokemon that much, but I understand what it is. You collect them all, you get this, you fight your monster, blah, 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 right? But this one is different because you gotta build, you gotta you could set up systems to get resources. And so, that's a loud motorcycle. And so, I was like, okay, they're kind of doing the Starfield thing where it's like, you have a builder's flavor over here for all your builders out there. Then you have the survival element or the systems element over here for all your system. Well, that's builders and it kind of melds in those two. And then you have the actual Pokemon with Guns part. And I'm like, they were like, yeah, what can we add to this game? Let's add all the best parts of all the games that people play. And they did it. I mean, I'm just assuming, I don't know how it plays, so. But I'm like, yo. And I remember seeing this, I remember seeing this game like years ago. And I was like, yo, what is this game? It looks crazy nice. And that was Power World. And I'm like, wow. And I don't hear nothing from, the PlayStation stuff, they have a bunch of third-party stuff, right? But it's like The Last Ronin, whatever, not The Last Ronin, Rise of the Ronin, whatever that game's called. I'm like, y'all got like 49 samurai games coming out. Did y'all even think about diversifying? I know they're different games from different companies and stuff, but they're the same games. Are you doing Ghost of Tsushima, the Ronin guy, and there's another one too, I can't remember what it's called. I'm like, y'all are overdosing on samurai, I'm just saying. And one of those 3 games, I think there's 3 games, one of those 3 samurai games are going to suffer. Or maybe 2 of them, who knows, depending on when they release. Cannibalism, because it's the same, it's like if you put out 4, let's say 3 Cyberpunk games all at the same time, there's gonna be one better Cyberpunk game, the best Cyberpunk game out of all these 3. That's what it's gonna be. And so now there's gonna be the best Ronin or the best samurai game out of all these 3. And I believe they're all exclusive for PlayStation. I'm like, what are y'all doing? I know y'all are desperate for games, but just don't buy up everything. Doesn't that sound familiar? I'm buying up games? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the PlayStation side, and I'm like, what is there? What is there to be excited about? Maybe if you're a Final Fantasy fan, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is that what it is? I'm not, so I'm like, well, okay. What else you got? What else do they have? The Last of Us 2 remake? Nope, that's not it either. Yeah, it's like, it's looking bad. And then, the whole thing, I never got into like how the ponies and the donkey unicorns are claiming that third-party games are first-party now, or they're important, blah, blah, blah. When Microsoft was in the same position last generation, they were making fun of Microsoft. Oh, y'all ain't got no games. Xbox got no games. Oh, you got all these other third-party games. You ain't got no games. Same thing's happening to Sony right now. Sony, PlayStation, ain't got no games. I know I did a video about this a couple videos ago. But this is literally the exact same situation that Microsoft was in, and the ponies and the donkey unicorns were proclaiming Xbox got no games. So, just by just sheer deduction, PlayStation got no games. And when I say that, I know somebody in the comments said, "Oh, they wouldn't have games in their store in the PSN if they didn't have no games, or in PS Plus if they had no game." I'm like, don't act dumb. You know what I mean. You know what that statement means. That means you ain't got no first-party games. I mean, they literally got no first-party games. Like when they said it about Xbox, it was just, oh, it's just Gears, Forza, and Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's all they were saying. Xbox got no games. All you guys, Gears, Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? Now, Sony ain't got literally no games releasing in 2024. That remaster, the remake, whatever, that don't even count. Last of Us, man, they down bad. It's just, oof. I always say it, I'll say it again. I never thought I'd see Sony in this predicament so fast. They had the opportunity to be the greatest, the best for a long time. All they had to do was try. They didn't even try. They were just like, oh, we're the best. Yeah, let's go. It's coasting. Let's coast. We don't need no gas. We don't need nothing. You see the double thing I did there? Okay. They need gas. They need the gas games. Anyway, yeah, it's yeah. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Sony should invest in smaller games, not AAA? Maybe triple B or double A or A. Smaller games like Prince of Persia, The Lost Throne, or whatever the hell the subtitle is on that one. Do you think they should do that? Do you think they should do it with their IP? This is what Ubisoft did. So what IP do you think they should do it with? Like maybe God of War, do a side-scrolling God of War? That might be interesting. If done right, obviously. Uncharted, they could do like a whatchamacallit, Protocol. I did the Protocol thing again. Wow, that's a different game by Chair though. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They can do a bunch of things, man. They have a bunch of IPs, and they can do a bunch of smaller games, like 2.5 Metroidvania type of games. But they just don't want to take the. And the funny thing is like, it's like they don't want to take the risk, but the risk is so minimal with those type of games because it doesn't cost that much to make a game like that versus Uncharted or versus The Last of Us or versus Spider-Man 2. Why don't they do it? Why don't they just invest in smaller games and have something? And it would take less time for them to make those games as well. So it doesn't make any sense, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what y'all think about that. What you think about the predicament that Sony is in, about people making fun of my silver hair. And actually, what you think about the new Prince of Persia game, what you've seen so far, and do you think it's hot, and are you gonna get it? Are you gonna play it? All that good stuff. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Till the wait.